Also, if got it, no problem. And if you and if you're used to our webinars, please hold your questions till the end or put them in the chat, and we'll be able to answer them. And there won't be any breakouts or polling questions during this. This is strictly informational for you to understand what we have to offer. And Michelle, I'll let you kick it off from there.
Great, thank you, Adam, and thank you everyone for joining us today. My name is Michelle Chappell. I'm with Quality Incentive Company, and today we're going to go through a presentation about safety recognition and the solutions that we provide to help drive a strong culture of safety and improve your overall results. So let me go ahead and move forward. So the agenda that I have today is we're going to spend a little bit of time just talking about us, about Quality Incentive Company, who we are. I'll introduce you to the team that we have on the call. Then I'm going to share with you what we do in some real life scenarios. So I've got a couple real life programs, sort of cases to look at and sort of show you how we've helped their organization to improve their overall safety results. Then we're going to talk a little bit about what the process looks like. How do we work with you to design a program that's going to be effective and right for your organization, and the technology that we use to make those programs work. I'll talk a little bit about the rewards part of it, as well as the support that we provide. And then, as Adam mentioned, there'll be plenty of time for questions and a little bit of an overview of what we would need to get started. So the team that we have on the call today, first me, Michelle, I'm the Director of Account Management for Quality Incentive Company. I've been with Quality Incentive for 9 years, almost 10. So for quite some time, I work with clients of all shapes and sizes to get all sorts of programs up and running on our platform in Centrac, and then help to make sure that they're meeting our clients' objectives on a day-to-day. Rob, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hey, good morning, everybody. My name is Rob Miklas. I have the pleasure of working with Quality Incentive for over 10 years. Prior to that, I was with another provider in the industry called Loyalty Works, and I've been around this industry now for longer than I care to note. But we have seen a lot of different programs. I think we've gleaned a lot about how to help clients look at their objectives and create a customized program to help them reach those objectives. My responsibilities include business development and account management, so Michelle and I work directly with each other. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll talk more about what we do and how we do it when we get to the process.
Thanks, Rob. Also on the call, we have Diane Gibbs from Business Development. Diane, you want to introduce yourself quickly? You are on mute.
How's that?
Good.
Good.
Okay, good. I'm business development for Quality Incentive. I've worked with Michelle for many years, and also provide my clients with branded promotional products, safety awards, anything that they need with their logo on it to promote their company and promote a safe working environment. So with that, I will turn it back to Michelle.
Great, thanks, Diane. All right, so a little bit about Quality Incentive Company. We are headquartered in Memphis, Tennessee, but Rob and I are both remote. So we have a little bit of a hybrid workforce, but our main group, our corporate office, is in Memphis. We've been around for over 60 years, and I won't tell you the whole story about how we've evolved, but it started with loyalty coupons in grocery stores, and we have just grown throughout the years into a technology-based recognition and loyalty platform. We serve clients across many different industries, from logistics and transportation to healthcare, the automotive aftermarket, construction, you name it, we probably have some sort of program in that industry. We really enjoy what we do. We are a full service organization. So every part of our solution is sort of owned within QIC, from customer service to our technology development team. Everything's done in-house. And we're really here to make this process easy for our customers. All of our solutions, while we do have sort of a standard template, and I'm going to share that with you today, all of our solutions that we provide our customers are custom. So we pride ourselves in having a very collaborative approach to program design. We'll listen to what objectives are important to you, what you'd really like to move the needle on within your organization to have those results that you're looking for, and we will work with you to show you how you can use our tools to achieve those goals. And that's exactly what I'm going to share with you right now, are a couple real life solution examples of existing clients and how we've worked. It's the same technology, but a little bit of a different approach for each of them. So our first case here is a supply chain organization, and they've been with us for about as long as I have. They have over 30 locations within the United States, but what's interesting to this client is at each of those locations, there's only a handful of employees. So I think maybe their biggest location has 10, but generally it's sort of a manager and a couple of direct reports managing each of these locations. So when this client came to us and they're like, hey, we have our workforce is very distributed. We don't get to go and sort of speak with them every day. How are we going to communicate our objectives in regards to safety in a cohesive way across our organization? So that's sort of where our platform came into play. We worked with the client to develop a system that allows, while it's under one branded umbrella and one set of rules, one set of goals, the location leaders have some autonomy to recognize and award at their location level. The client didn't necessarily have a corporate report that they could pull for attendance or certain training initiatives. So it was on those managers to sort of work with the platform to award points. We do send automated reminders to each of their managers. We help assign budgets to make sure that everything fits within the client's overall program design. We created printable scorecards because our client wanted to use this program as sort of a checks, balance, compliance for their own internal safety audits to make sure that their managers are communicating safety topics monthly, completing trainings that need to be done, and then recognizing their team for great results. So all of those parts and pieces are what has worked really well for this client and has grown with them throughout the years. I mean, they started with only a few locations, but they are absolutely growing, especially this year, and we're excited to grow with them. The next example here is a transportation checking company. They launched their program in 2019, and some of the, when we were first consulting with them, their issues were turnover. They didn't have great centralized reporting for some of their key objectives. They were adding a lot of locations. And they had a mix of company and owner operators. So a lot sort of going on there. And they're like, how can we maybe create a program, again, that puts all of our initiatives under one clearly branded platform that we can communicate out to our team. So for this program, what was really important was the communication strategy. We wanted to make it a very simple program. They chose 5 objectives that they wanted to measure each month. Similar to the previous client example, some of those things were being sort of reported and awarded by those sort of on the ground managers in the terminal. And other awards were being awarded from a corporate level. So there's a lot of mix of how we get information to recognize employees in our program. And we work with our clients to figure out what's the path of least resistance for them. This program has been extremely successful. They now integrate the program into every new terminal onboarding that they have. They want to make sure that their drivers are in the program before they even open up the terminal. So it's become a very sort of easy way for them to say, hey, welcome to the team. Here's the things that we focus on from a safety and compliance standpoint. And here's how we recognize you for doing the actions to help us achieve those goals. So that was a lot of me talking. Rob, do you have anything to add on either of those cases there?
No, not right now.
Okay, great. Well, here, I'll hand it over to you to talk a little bit about our process.
Okay, great. Sorry, finding a little bit of a congestion thing. The process is really something that we spend a lot of time on, and there are 4 blocks here that you see, and if you kind of read from left to right and then left to right on the bottom, we start with consulting with our clients. What are you trying to do with the program? What are your objectives? What do you know about the current condition and how much you want that current condition to be impacted by the program? And we're going to show you how we integrate our thinking into actually a planning model that you can use to test your assumptions. And that's really an important thing. We think this is what distinguishes us a little bit in the marketplace, is that this is a very iterative and interactive process that we go through with our clients to create a program that is going to be impactful for their business. Once that's done, we employ or we apply all of those award rules to our technology platform, which we call Incentrack. And it is a homegrown and owned and operated technology platform that has, when you access it through us, you have all the features available, but depending upon what it is that you're trying to do, we may turn off certain features for a given period of time and then turn them on later. And Michelle will show you that when we go through the platform demo here in just a second. That technology platform is the vehicle through which the participants, once they've earned points in the program, can redeem them for reward items. And Michelle will walk you through that as well. And that'll become an integrated part of the platform demo. Then she'll wrap it up by talking about the support that's provided by her account management team once the program is up and operating. So we're going to go through the consultation here a little bit. Then I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to talk about the technology platform, and then we'll wrap it with account management. So I know you all can read. Let me just kind of drive or highlight those words that are underlined here. This is it is an important step. I can't tell you how many times we've talked with the potential clients and we say, what is it you want to try to do? What is it you're hoping to accomplish with this program? And pinning that down can be difficult at times. Is it turnover reduction? Is it incident reduction? Is it changing the culture? Is it communication? Is it all of those things? Let's make sure we understand exactly what you're trying to do. And that's what's shown here by point number 2. Once we've done that, it becomes important then to say, all right, if that is what you're trying to do, if that's the objective, what are the behaviors that you observe that drive performance relative to that objective? Because that's the thing that you absolutely want to award and recognize. Once you've done that, then you can start to talk about, well, how much is that worth to me? What is that particular that behavior worth if we see it replicated or are habituated throughout the work that these folks do? Then you apply that budget to those award rules and you model it out. And so, Michelle, let's go to the next one. Let me just show you now. I'm going to request. Okay, somebody, can you give me the control, Michelle? Or is that you, Audrey?
Let me take care of this for you. Hold on just a second. Here you go.
There should be a share screen button. There you go.
All right, you should be seeing an Excel file, do you?
Yes.
All right, very good. So there was a lot of words that I just used to talk about the award rules and how you try and how we attempt to pull together the objectives that a client has in mind into a planning model. And this is an example of that, and we won't go through it completely, but I want to highlight certain things. First of all, look along the tabs here. You'll see that there is a set of assumptions that we'll work on. We'll go through what indicators, and that's a word we use a lot. When we say indicator, that relates to the behavior. What is the behavior, or what is indicated by that behavior? And we'll look at those. That then drives to a program investment, which is obviously what you're spending on the program, which then feeds the cost benefit or the return that you can achieve by employing the program. So start here at the assumption page, and we'll look and say, hey, how many folks are going to be in the program? And I just used we talked with the folks at BBSI. I just used an initial count of 30 participants. And Adam and Brian indicated that a lot of your businesses have pretty substantial growth. So these two are input cells. You'll see that anything that's indicated in this light yellow shading is something that you would put in order to make this applicable to your situation. So in this instance, we have 30 folks initially, 10% growth a year. This model is predicated on billing you, the client, when a point is redeemed. So there are two aspects to the program: point awards and point redemption. So this program, and what we've recommended in these cases, is a bill and redemption program, which says when somebody uses a point for a reward, that's what creates a billing event. So we're going to leave this now for just a second, and let's go here to the indicator tab. And what this basically does is it's bringing over this cell, which is the number of participants that were specified on the assumptions tab. And then this is for you, the client, to specify. What are the behaviors that you want to reinforce? And so, for example, we picked some in this example, and these are ones that we see in a lot of safety programs that we operate: safety meeting attendance, training completion. If there are certain key practices that you want them to do and understand, maybe there's a training module that you have them complete. Maybe there's a reporting component that you want them to be precise about compliance. And then, and we recognize this, most of our programs, let me say it differently, all of the programs have most of the indicators focused on behaviors. But usually there are one or two indicators in there that relate to results. We know that these programs cannot be all result focused. And so that's why the indicators are very heavily weighted toward behaviors, the things that lead to the results. And so in this particular model, the kind that we would work with you to design your program, you can specify not only what kinds of indicators that you want to recognize, but how frequently you want to recognize it. And so I've just picked certain things here. This manager virtual award, this is the old recognize people as you walk around the factory floor or walk around the construction site. Hey, I just saw Freddie doing something really, really good. I'm going to give him a virtual award that says, way to go. So that's something that happens all the time, monthly. You could have safety meetings quarterly. I came from businesses where they were done quarterly. I came from businesses where they were done monthly. Whatever that is, you can change that. And based upon what you enter here, that then defines the periods that drop down here. No magic to that. It's just the way the model works. And then you can test certain assumptions to say, well, what if I include all of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different award areas or indicators? But what if I drop one of them out? Let's say I don't want to do any kind of results-based reporting. If I drop that out, and I want you to watch right here, watch this line. If I make this go away, it just drops it out of your model. The value of doing this is you can start to go through an iterative process of saying, what things do I want to include in my program and what things do I not want to include? And what is the impact if I include them on the cost, okay, or on your investment? So let's leave that back in there. Now I want to focus on, so we've kind of created this straw man of these indicators. We say that the annual anticipated awards are 1.3 million points. Well, what does that mean? Well, that then carries over to this investment summary, and there's that 1.3 million points, right? It drops into what you're investing in the program. And then you do that point awards by period. You then look at them cumulatively, and you say, this is the invested amount. Investment means what you have actually awarded to participants' accounts, but that isn't necessarily what you spend. What you spend will be related to what gets redeemed. So you can see in this instance, we've invested about $10,000 a year in terms of point awards, and that happens again the next year. So the cumulative investment is 20,000 and so on. But the redemption in the first year is, say, only 35%, which makes sense because you have a mix of redemption behaviors in your programs. Some people will redeem immediately, others will save. And so based upon how that participant base behaves, you'll get a cumulative redemption rate. So let's say in the first year, the cumulative redemption is 35%, $10,000 were awarded, but only $3,000 got redeemed. So you see how the mechanism works in this way. You have a series of assumptions, you look at indicators, that drops into the investment. And then to complete the circle, you go over here to the cost benefit. And this becomes really, really important. And I can't stress this enough. You have to decide what it is you're doing and from whence you're coming. What's your starting point? So I made this up. I have no idea of the accuracy, but I've been in enough manufacturing businesses to know that you could have 5 incidents in a workforce of 30 people across the course of a year, and they could cost that. You could have in this environment 50% turnover. Maybe those are the two things that you really want to impact, but there may be other measurable results that you can focus upon to say, what is it I'm trying to do with this program? What do I want to impact? And then once you know this baseline activity, and you see these are all shaded light yellow, that means that's input from you, from your business. And then you say, if I run the program, what do I hope or expect to get in terms of improvement against those baseline activities? That just flows down here to improve performance, a improvement by period, savings by period, cumulative savings. Here's your cash outlay, which came from over here, right? There's 7851. Here it is. And then you have a period cash outlay, a cumulative cash outlay, and a return on investment, which is relating those baseline conditions, the improvement, and your investment and cash outlay. So I don't know how many minutes that was, probably too many, but that was that. You don't need obviously to internalize that whole thing at this moment. The idea is to say to you, there is a process here that walks you through. Why are you doing the program? What are your baseline measures? What do you want to see improved? And then let's model out what the behaviors are that'll impact that. So make your notations of questions on that if you have them, and we'll address them at the end. But we have found this to be an incredibly important aspect of program development, because if nothing else, it drives the clients thinking about their business, what they're trying to do, and how they can positively impact it. So I'm going to stop now and let Michelle show you the platform.
Great. Yeah. So I'm really just going to take all of that information that we just saw from Rob's model and show you how we sort of put it to work and where you can see it visually on a platform. I have a little slide here, but it does sort of drive one point that our platform is completely mobile responsive, which is really important given the wide range of participant demographics we have in each of our programs. So a workstation is not needed to engage with the platform. They can go shopping from their tablet or from their phones. It's all just immediately responsive. So let me pause really quick and pull up our platform demo. Okay, you guys should be seeing a screen that says IncenTrack. Let me, oh, nope, there it goes. Okay, so our platform, we call it IncenTrack. It can, whenever you have a program with us, you have access to all of the features. And there are a lot of them, a lot of different modules that you can sort of turn on and off based on your program design. So we sort of tailor the platform in these demos to different solutions. And we do have a safety one pulled up, but I am going to pull up our employee recognition because it is the most comprehensive of all of our demos. It has absolutely all of the features that would be applicable in any sort of recognition situation. So this is an example of a login page. Something about our platform is it is completely branded to your organization. So I think I mentioned that a couple of times when I was talking about the two different sort of example clients that we've worked with and how sort of the branding of their program and having that like single umbrella was really important to them. And this is the start of where we pull that all together. So all of this white space is sort of branded for your organization and your program. You can do whatever you want with it. There can be rotating graphics, text, images, and then that branding flows through the entire experience. So it looks like a platform that was sort of built for your company. Every user has an account in our system. So that's one, you have to have your own unique user ID and password to access the site. Our platform also has two sides to it, a participant view, which is what your employees would see. And then we have a full administrative side. I'm not going to spend as much time on the administrative side today, but I will just drive home one key sort of note is that everything is transparent. As an administrator of this program, you can see activity in real time, whether that be points awarded, points redeemed. You can run reports, you can download them to Excel, you can add users, you can terminate users. So all of that is at your fingertips and available in real time. So each user has their own account, and I will go ahead and log in. And this is an example of sort of what the page would look like after the employee logs in. This is the participant view. Again, your branding would come through. So all of that work that we did on the login page, it continues here. The colors, the menu bar, the banner, it would all be branded for your program. A few key things right here, front and center. Over on the right-hand side is the participants' points summary. It shows them points they've been awarded, points they've redeemed, and their available balance to spend. So that's one key thing about our programs. Why are these participants so excited to earn points? And the reason is they spend those points on name brand lifestyle merchandise. We have, oh, I don't know, like 30,000 items in our catalog. We have a lot of stuff, including live event ticketing, a live event ticketing feature. So there's really something for everyone in our catalog. But the participants can see all of the details for how they've earned points. So all of those different indicators that Rob was sharing with you in the model, every time we award a point against one of those indicators, we identify it by that type of award, and you can also write notes. So maybe there was an incident-free month, and you would have the award be incident-free, and then in the note you would put January 2022. But the participant can see all of the details of how they've earned points. And believe me, they come here and check, and this is where they make sure, did I get my points for last month? Am I still waiting on them? Hey, why did I get 0 points? What can I do to earn more next time? So this is where they see all of those details. And again, all of this is available to you for all participants on the administrative side. Those same level of detail, the participants can see in their points redeemed, everything they've ordered. I've placed a lot of orders in this demo system, but you can click the order number, see your item. You can get your tracking here. If you're processing a return, that all happens here. And you'll notice everything for the participant is in points. So our program is no cost to the participant, and in the points, shipping is included. If they need to return it within 30 days, that's included. It's all done. We never ask participants. There's never a way for us to get money from a participant. It's all included, and they only know the program as points. So it's truly a very meaningful reward for them. A couple sort of visual features. We can put a lot of extra content on the site. Again, talking about reinforcing that culture, that message, that program objective. There's a lot of different places where you can continue to communicate that to your participant base. There's optional text area, an optional rotating news feature. You can even link to outside sources. We have it, I think it links to our blog, but it could go, we've had clients do like a learning library where they have all of their sort of different training topics for their quizzes. You could link to your internal newsletter or just to your site. But there's a lot of ways that we can customize the communication within your platform. I will skip shopping for the moment and I'll end there, and let's go to the program guide. So that model that Rob shared is very important when you're designing a program, but then you're like, hey, how am I going to communicate this to my employees? I need to make it simple, make it easy to understand. I know the why we're doing this, but what do they need to know? And that's what the program guide is. It sort of introduces the program and it tells them how they can earn points. So this one, it's just an example with some years of service and special recognition. But we can have different program guides for different types of participants. You may have objectives for one type of employee that are different than another, and we can change out this program guide based on those needs. Quizzes. Quizzes is one of our features. So included in the platform is our quiz and survey feature. We can embed videos. This comes up a lot where they'd like to show some sort of training and then do a check for understanding afterwards. And we can do that, but let me pull up one that doesn't require us to watch a video. And again, these would be branded for your site. Rob, are you seeing the window pop up? Sometimes that happens with the share. No? Okay, let me stop and let me pull it up.
I shook my head, but
I got it. There we go. So now I should be showing the right window now. But our quiz and survey, there was one where there was a pretty little video. That's all you missed. But you can do multiple languages, and there's like a little language drop down. Your branding, again, can be carried through. And a lot of our clients do a sort of 5 to 10 question check for understanding quiz on key topics, key safety. That first client I spoke about, they would have their quarterly safety topic, and then they would have a 10-question quiz, and that would earn participants 5,000 points just to know that they were listening and they took away the key messages. But what's great is right after the participants finish this quiz, let me now pick the right window again. Our system will automatically score it and award points. So I know in that last client, they want their participants to get 100%. Like, you know what, you can take it 1,000,000 times if you need to, but we're not giving you points until you answer every question correctly. And we can set all of those rules in place. And this feature is completely available to you. And we have some clients who maybe post 1 a quarter, but we have others who use this feature heavily and post 2 quizzes a month. It's really completely up to you. We can also do surveying through this this feature as well.
And I was going to say, Diane, I'm sorry, Michelle, this is something that Brian and I can help our clients out with. We can help you develop quizzes, surveys, maybe even put like a new employee orientation safety in here so they can take it online. That way you don't have to worry about administering it. So there's definitely a lot of things we can help out with, Brian and I, developing this.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, I definitely agree. I suppose the new employee onboarding is a very popular way to use this feature. We can make it where the quiz only shows up for new hires, and then they're it can be a special button for them that they're just sort of prompted to take it, which can be just a nice way to not only get your key messages across, but also give them some points right there for being part of the team and sort of getting on the platform and seeing what they can do to earn more. Some of the other features, the rewards cards. Rob had mentioned these in his model. We sort of have 2 versions and they're diagonal here. The rewards card is what it says, a physical card or a physical, like something being communicated to the participant where they come in and enter a number to get their points. That is a legacy way of doing this. I mean, ever since I've been with QIC, we've had these cards and we still have them because they're great to just hand out in the moment. It is then on the participant to come in here and enter their card number, and the card will tell them exactly how to do it. But as soon as they enter that number, points are automatically deposited into their account. In recent years, our virtual card option has become extremely popular. It's the same sort of idea, a leader giving points to an employee for them just sort of seeing them do something well in the moment. But they can, instead of having that physical card that they hand out, the employee then needs to enter, they can go on to their device and make a virtual award right there. You enter your recipient ID, you can add CC email addresses to the notification, select your reason, points will be defaulted, and write comments. One key thing about this, and one difference that I think is a reason why a lot of our clients are leaning more towards this route than the cards, is it is fully budgeted. So I have 50,000 points here because it's a demo account, but you can control this as much as you want. You can say your leaders have two of these badges or 2 of these virtual awards to give away a month. You can give them a budget like this and say, hey, you can distribute that however you want, but you can't award more than 10,000 points to one person. So there's a lot we can do here, and this has by far been our most popular feature in the past 2 years, but it's applicable to a lot of different situations and gives a very controlled way for you to let your managers participate in the recognition.
And Michelle, I was going to say that would kind of deter favoritism. So if I like Bob more than Jeff, that's going to kind of stop that.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly.
I agree. I mean, one of the reasons why virtual cards became so important is it really prevents fraud too. I mean, that when you had the physical medium out there, there was a potential for that to be abused. This takes that away.
And again, it's all completely transparent. So you see who gave the virtual card to whom, like what was the reason, what's the frequency, you can download it to Excel. So there's just a lot of meat there, where the rewards cards definitely have their benefit as well. I love I'm a data person, so I love all the data that you get with virtual cards. So virtual cards were sort of a leader to employee type example, but we can also do peer-to-peer recognition. And this is a surprisingly popular thing. A lot of people love to we call them badges, and that's sort of what you're seeing here over on the side, but it's really just people recognizing one another. And a lot of our clients will use this feature to get data to award for like an employee of the month or an employee of the quarter, or just kind of noticing maybe someone who is going above and beyond and their peers are recognizing it. These badges, they don't even have to have points associated with them. Most of our clients will give a small amount of points, just a few hundred, but they don't even have to have points. If they do, again, it's budgeted, but it's not as open as the leader recognition. So the leaders, sometimes they're allowed to, if the client allows it, they can edit the amount of points that they're awarded. We can make changes to their budgets from the admin side, but badges are sort of set in stone. You get your budget. You can't really change anything within it. It's just there for participants to recognize other participants. With both virtual cards and peer-to-peer recognition, once one of those awards happens, there's a few things in the background that take place. First, the points, if there are points, are automatically deposited into the recipient's account. Second, the recipient is sent a notification email being like, hey, you've been recognized by Michelle for, I don't know, catching that near miss today. And then the last thing is we have an optional feed over here on the right-hand side, and you see these little icons, badges. Those again are completely custom and designed to fit the theme of your program, but it can be a fun way to add a little bit of a social aspect to your recognition platform. The last two sections down here, again, the employee engagement, it's a repurpose of the quiz. We can do surveys and they can be semi-anonymous. So if you've ever done like an employee engagement type survey where you want to get information, but you want your employees to have some level of not being able to be correlated directly to their response, we can do that. We can tell that they participated in the program, but we can't align their response to the individual. It's a really cool feature. It's just an added bonus to being on our platform that's available to you. So now I will take a few minutes and go shopping. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's very, we have tens of thousands of items in our catalog, and our catalog is divided into these main categories over on the left-hand side. Digital world is exactly what it says. It's your TVs, your personal audio, your tablets, all that good stuff. I'll go to, I think I am in a Canadian catalog, but you can get everything from really large TVs to that bracket to hang the TV. All About You has luggage. Sunglasses are extremely popular in our program. People love to get a nice pair of sunglasses, as are watches. Media entertainment are sort of box sets, as well as computer games and digital games and accessories. No Place Like Home, everything for your kitchen, your garage, your patio. Recreation and fitness, a lot of golf, a lot of camping. Another popular category is sort of everything camping and outdoors. And then we can add travel events, and we do have real-time ticketing. So it's sort of like using your points on like a Ticketmaster too. You actually pick your seat, but it's all in point currency. Let me go ahead and redeem for something. I'll get this. Once they've decided that they want to select an item, you just add it to cart. You can keep shopping or go to checkout. And again, it won't ever ask for any information or any sort of credit card information or anything from your participants. They can ship it anywhere in the continental US. It will populate, but they can edit this. And then you just complete your order. And once you complete your order, you will come to the confirmation screen, but you also have that order immediately in your points redeemed history. The participant also gets a notification email. They also get a notification email when that item ships. So it's all very light, very much like any other online shopping experience. So really quick, I will show you just the administrative side. I won't go through all of the features, but here's just a little glimpse of all of the reports that are out there. There's a lot. Most of them download into Excel, just like a full data feed. So my favorite one is login history. I always look at these reports when a program is launching or when we announce a new initiative, because I can tell who's logging into the system, how many times they've logged in, what was their last login date, as well as their point activity. And this downloads to Excel. But a more sort of leader level summary report, the program summary, it will group all of your points awarded and points redeemed by whatever your organizational structure is. You don't have to have all these layers, but you can. But what's really cool is you can click through this report and get all the way to the individual participant level. So you can just see I made that redemption and I'm all the way at my account, just like I saw it as a participant. So again, I won't go, I could talk about the admin side for an hour, but I really just wanted to share that it's all transparent and here for you. You can also award points, add users, track your participants' orders, or even place an order on behalf of a participant. All right, so that is my demo. Rob, unless you can think of anything that I may have missed.
The only thing I'll add on the admin side is that this is a tool that's available to your program administrators on the client side. But that doesn't mean that's the only way that you can get the information. Michelle and her team routinely prepare information and supply it to clients. So we have a blend of folks that are heavy users of this admin portal and ones that don't use it very much at all and rely on us. And just want to make sure you don't feel like once you've engaged with us that this is your only way of you're going to get information. That's a bit of a lead into what Michelle's going to talk about next.
Yeah, no, that's the perfect lead in, because I think while we have all those features on the admin side and I love to talk about them, I think a lot of times our admins are like, well, I'd rather you just send me a monthly report, and that's what we do for them. So you all should be seeing the presentation again. I switched applications, good. So again, just to sort of reinforce our rewards selection, I spun through that pretty quickly, but our catalog is full of recognizable brands. I've put a few of the most popular up here for you to see, but really I would say personal audio is, I do a lot of reviews and sort of looking at program data for our clients, and personal audio has been the #1 thing, like earbuds and headphones and speakers, as well as electronics are always popular, followed closely by outdoor gear. But our catalog is constantly being refreshed. Our buying team in Memphis is sort of always adding and keeping, making sure we have the latest and greatest in our catalog available for our participants. And then account management. So that's my team. And we help with all aspects of your program, not just getting you up and going on the platform. Like Rob mentioned, our style isn't necessarily just say, okay, here it is, good luck. We're there with you to provide as much support as you want. Just some of the things that we do to help support our program operations, full project management for your onboarding. You may wonder like, oh, how do I update my participants when people term and when I add new people, you can just send us a spreadsheet and we do all of that maintenance for you. We can help with point award processing. So if you have some results and you would rather us convert those to points and award them for you, we can do that. We do multiple leader trainings a week. So a lot of those programs may have some managers who are doing virtual cards or a little bit of point awarding, and we train every one of them. And it's not unusual for us to jump on a quick 15-minute call and train somebody who's new to the system. We also provide a lot of participant support. So if they forgot their password or they can't find something in the catalog, or they're trying to get a hold of customer service to return their earbuds, our account management can help them as well. And then finally, the piece that I probably most enjoy is program reporting, ROI analysis. We help you to be constantly evaluating your program and making sure that those goals that were outlined in the beginning are being met, or do we need to maybe adjust something? Are we outperforming in one area, but maybe we need to reallocate to something different? So we're here to always provide you reporting and analysis and sort of always telling you what's new. If there's a new feature, I'll tell you about that too. But it is an ongoing conversation that we like to have with our clients. Okay, so that's it. We were sort of right at an hour, leaving us time for questions. I know I may have seen a hand go up. I don't know if we have anything in the chat, but I guess I will open it up.
No items in the chat. Now, anyone, if you want to ask some questions, now's your chance.
I've got one, and I apologize. I've had to go in and out of the Zoom call a couple times, so I might have missed something. The first question is it all just rewards or can we do cash? And then secondly, have you ever integrated things other than safety into the program? For instance, we're working to currently build a quality incentive for our company. And so I'm wondering if I can piggyback this together or not. Thanks.
Michelle, you want me to jump in here?
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
So first answer is no, we don't do cash. We are firmly embedded in the philosophy of non-cash rewards, that they have the potential to have more of a trophy value for participants. And that has been successful in a wide variety of contexts. So we appreciate the fact that some people want to do cash compensation, and that is an alternative model, but that's not what we do. So that's number one. But number two, on a more affirmative note, absolutely, adding other areas of importance to a program, we wholeheartedly not only can do that, but encourage that. Because what happens is, if there is more potential for a participant to earn across a variety of indicators, the whole program becomes more valuable to them, right? It just becomes part of your culture. Like for us, our program is called Rally Rewards, and we have tenure recognition involved in that. We have high performer recognition. So we have peer recognition. So there are a lot of ways that our folks can earn points, and everything is under the banner of Rally Rewards. So absolutely, Bill, we would encourage you to add other things to it.
And I would only comment back, unfortunately, that your first answer kind of kills your second answer.
Well,
we've got a lot of minimum wage people, so
yeah, I get that.
Okay.
No, I get that, and let me say it a little differently. We don't ever do cash. Would we do something around gift cards? Yes.
Okay, well, that's fine. That I shouldn't have used the phrase cash. Thanks for that clarification.
The one thing I will say is, if you're in a safety environment, anytime you have a cash vehicle, if you do safety alone, anytime you use a cash reward vehicle, the program becomes taxable, whereas if you don't use a cash vehicle, it's non-taxable. So there's that component to it as well. But
And
yeah, we
relative-
have programs that have gift cards in them for sure.
And relative to taxation, is a gift card taxable or not?
Gift card is, yeah, gift card absolutely would be. If you have that in there, that makes the program taxable to the recipient. Yes. Yes. Others, questions on the model? I mean, I know I went through that really quickly, but
So
And-
Rob, I had a question. So can our clients assign point value to, you know, what the point is, you know, what the point's going to cost them? So, you know, like one point can be a penny, one point can be a
Sure.
nickel.
sure, absolutely. Well, the only thing we recommend is don't make a penny worth a dollar. I mean, don't make a point worth a dollar. Because then it's very transparent, you know. But other than that, sure, we have programs that are running 2 cents a point, half a cent a point, a penny a point. It doesn't matter. It all recalibrates, right? You just change the award values.
Awesome.
I got a question. Michelle, you probably have this at your fingertips, but what data do you have that demonstrates how effective these programs are, you know, in changing the behavior over time? You know, we went from X to Y. How do you guys help with that? And I mean, I know I saw ROI as part of the dashboard. Can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Sure, and I can, and Rob, you can jump in as well. But so it really depends on the program. So a lot of times when an ROI is a big focus for our client, and I mean, sometimes recognition is just about, hey, culture, getting people engaged, but when we have that ROI aspect, it's important that we get fed sort of the results data. So for example, that first client that I spoke about in the supply chain space, we've been watching their program for years. That they send us every month their full safety metrics, like here's our numbers, here's our regions, here's where we've had incidents, here's the amount of lost time. Like we get all of that data. And so we watch their trends. And an interesting story, so the program is highly successful all the way until when the pandemic hit. They experienced a ton of turnover, and in turn, their incident rate went up sort of outside of the program. But we've worked with the client to adjust the program to really help with sort of their onboarding and retraining. And we're starting to see things trend back to where they were before that shift. So I don't know if I said that well, but that's sort of the type of stuff that we're looking at with them, taking that raw data. And then if we see something that we can adjust to keep adding that benefit, we will do so. Rob, anything you want to add?
Yeah, let me add another one. In one of our logistics clients, they specify target performance levels for a lot of their operations metrics. And what we see that them doing is reporting success rates against that target. And we've seen those trend up over time. So there are a number of different ways to record the progress. I go back to one of the things I stressed at the beginning of the discussion of the model. We have to get the point from which you're coming. You know, people have to say, where are we starting here? Because I can't tell you. I mean, I've been around this industry a long time, and I've had some clients go, well, that didn't work. That program didn't work. Well, bad on us. You didn't tell us what you wanted it to do, you know? So how do we know whether it worked or not? I mean, we need to have, this is where I am, this is where I want to go. And then we can really evaluate what's going on in between.
That makes sense. And, you know, it strikes me that a lot of really good stuff is going on. I love this program. I mean, you guys have taken care of everything. It seems so simple. And so it sounds like there could be some good outcomes going on, but maybe nobody knows about it. So how are you seeing the leaders, you know, taking this information and then socializing it at company meetings or things like that?
That's a good question. Michelle, you might have a little better insight into some of that than
Sure,
I do.
I'm just going to keep using the examples that I already had. So the second one, the logistics company, they have made it so they do they do cookouts. I guess maybe once a month, sometimes more frequent when they're busy. And they work the program and the successes into those cookouts. I've got one terminal leader who she's always asking for like some extra points to give away at those social events, and then also to recognize one of her drivers who had met every objective throughout the past quarter. So you start to see like, yes, we're measuring those successes every month, but then they're sharing the even bigger ones when they're sort of all together or having some sort of corporate communication. But it's been really fun, especially with that particular client, because I've sort of been with them from the beginning, to see how it's gone from something where they were like, hey, we don't have any way that we're monitoring this. We're not getting this data. Can you guys help us get the data? To the program becoming part of how they hold each other accountable from a leader standpoint, but then also how they celebrate their successes. And it's all under that one umbrella. So it's really neat to see how programs do evolve that way.
Let me add a point here. For a lot of you, my guess is you're already doing a fair number of recognition. You're having a fair amount of recognition through a variety of activities today. The message that we deliver a lot of times is, let's compile that. Let's kind of do an inventory of what you're doing today. Do you have a cookout? Do you give out a gift card from time to time? Do you do this, that, or the other thing? If you are doing that, you're already got a bit of a recognition culture, but it's not having the full impact because it's not seen as being integrated. And we have had a number of instances where we've helped clients pull all these pieces and parts together under one comprehensive banner. And then it has a much bigger impact in their affairs. So any other questions, comments, concerns?
What are the biggest challenges to getting, adoption? How do you promote? I mean, it seems like a sort of a no-brainer, but I'm sure it's not.
It's the investment part. Somebody goes, I don't want to do that. I don't have the money to spend for that. I mean, that's really and that's why we've gone to the whole modeling aspect to show, yes, it is an investment, but it's similar to investments that you make in PP&E. I mean, in equipment and in property. I mean, you are investing in your workforce, and there is a potential for a return. But that's the biggest impediment, I would say. I think the other one is senior leadership support. I mean, if the top of the organization believes in it, it will work. If the top of the organization is not enthusiastic about it, it will. And we had a trucking company where same kinds of structure that we put in place that's been wildly successful other places, we put it in place at this particular company, and it just didn't take off. And part of the reason was, or the biggest reason was, senior management never really accepted it as being meaningful. And that will end it in a heartbeat.
So what is the cost and the typical setup time?
So that's kind of the cost. Our standard fee is $1,500 to set up a program. Now, we recognize that many of the clients in your base are relatively small. And so understand that we're in this business to create ongoing programs. It's an annuity characteristic, and we want to be successful with our clients for a long period of time. So we're going to have more flexibility on that downswing, perhaps, than we would on the point basis. And so, like, for example, here in this slide that we have up here, we'd like to put out there for anybody that wants to try to get something started in the first quarter here, that you get a 50% discount off that setup fee. Now, if we had a parade of people lined up that all wanted to do it, we couldn't get them all done in Q1, then obviously we'll extend that into future periods. We believe there's a value to the setup fee in that it shows intent, and it shows that the client has some skin in the game. But that's not the primary investment that somebody should look at. It's what the model generates in terms of the point activity. That's the investment aspect of it. I don't know if all those words made sense, but You get where we're going?
Yeah. Yep.
And then as far as the setup process, we can move very quickly, but I generally tell clients expect like 3 to 4 weeks to get it all the way set up and going. Maybe a little bit more if we include the consultation phase. But as far as, you know, getting the site up and running, I mean, we've gone from, okay, we're ready to move on this. Here's our program design, and we've had it up in a week. But generally it takes a few weeks of sort of back and forth and getting approvals and making sure that the graphics look like what you want. So 3 weeks is a pretty standard amount of time, but it can always move faster or take longer if needed.
And I would also say, just in response to an earlier question, I think from Bill, that if you have multiple initiatives that you ultimately want to have in the program, say you want to start with, you have safety, you also want to do quality, let's say you also want to do tenure, you don't have to have that all there at the onset. You can start and do it sequentially. And sometimes there's value to that, because what it does, it's kind of like, it gives a little boost to the program as you move along. You start with safety, and then maybe 6 months to a year in, you add your quality initiative, and then 6 months to a year in, you add a tenure initiative. And it creates enthusiasm around the program over time.
I just wanted to add that, yes, there is a cost, but you want to look at the benefit and the ROI. And so many people get so caught up in the cost, but they don't realize that, yes, it's saved accidents. And there's a lot of costs that are there with accidents. Yes, it's saved in turnover. So by reducing those things, you would have had cost of that, but instead you're putting a portion of that towards the program. Overall, it's a benefit, and it is saving you money.
I was going to mention that, Diane. Thank you. So what I'm hearing, you know, the return on investment are decreased injuries and accidents in the workplace, better retention, better quality, and better production. Bill, I really like your question about that. I mean, because I've always felt personally that safety, quality, and production go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
If you're having accidents, you cannot have top rate quality and production. So I really like what Bill mentioned. I didn't click in my mind, but yeah, all this is awesome, because if your people are not getting hurt, they're coming to work every day, and they're producing better, higher quality and production, it's, yeah, like Bob mentioned, it's really a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, I spent the first 20 years of my career in manufacturing, and those are all so related. If people come to work on a regular basis, then they know how to do their jobs. If they do their jobs well, then they don't get hurt, then they also improve quality. I mean, safety was always the proxy for fine performance across the board. I mean, if you have a safe work environment, you typically have a well-run company.
Rob, I like what you just mentioned about coming to work on time. Would there be a way to actually reward that? So if someone comes to work on time for a week, they'll get so many points.
Yeah. I mean, if you can measure it, you can award it. I mean,
right. And guys, Adam, the other, we've talked about that, and some companies having troubles with guys showing up on time. And that's a metric that can be measured, just as we can with quality, jobs getting done on time, on schedule. So those are metrics too that you can also add into the point system.
No question.
And in addition to that, your key personnel, foremen, superintendents, if you conduct reviews annually or semi-annually, you can also award them points for that also too, for their overall performance, how much they are on budget, schedule, all of those factors that you want to take in reviewing someone's performance.
Absolutely. And don't forget, I mean, ultimately you can have a business result that can contribute to it as well. Let's say you have an outcome for a given year or quarter that's outstanding. A great way to recognize it is as a point override that says, what a great quarter, everybody gets X.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the program's really flexible. It's basically up to the owner what they want to do, and if you can measure it, you can you can include it. I mean, you could, it just has me feeling, strikes me that you could, could extend it to, whether or not people are exhibiting the core values, if a company has core values. I mean, probably don't want to get it, maybe too diluted, but anything related to the culture and safety being a key piece of that, this program can reinforce.
Yeah, well said. Good. Well, good. Yeah, good dialogue. I mean, y'all seem to pick up exactly the messages that we wanted to deliver. So appreciate that. Thank you for your attention and uptake.
Okay, so I don't see any other questions in the chat. Think we've answered questions for everyone else. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording.
Well, 1 second, Audrey. Just let me mention to everyone, since this is being recorded still, if you have questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to your local BBSI person, either Brian, myself, Audrey, Sarah, Bob, or Martin. Reach out to us and we will put you in contact with Quality Incentive, with Rob, Michelle, or Diane. That information will be available. This is recorded. You'll be able to watch this again, but please reach out to us to get a direct contact if you're interested. And Brian and I will help you set all this stuff up.
Perfect.
You're not out there alone. We'll help.
Right.
Okay. All right, anything else to add from the BBSI team before we close? Okay, I'm going to stop.
We'll say thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.